So let's take a look at this Lenovo machine I found at the flea market for 150 Danish kroners, which equals to around 20 euros. I don't know about you, but I just cannot resist when I find some cheap Lenovo stuff, especially ThinkPad laptops, but in this instance here, a Lenovo desktop machine. Seems to be very good condition, barely used, if at all ever been used. You can see still plastic here on the Lenovo logo, and it is in very good condition, no scratches or dents or anything like that, and I cannot really see any dust inside when I look into the machine itself. So yeah, has few USB ports here, headphone jack, and also card reader at the front. You can see at the bottom part there still is plastic on there as well. So yeah, don't think this one has been used a lot, if at all. It's an AMD system, AMD A4. I have no idea what that is, but you can see here, if you look inside the air vents there is really not much inside. Very small cooler there on this CPU, and I believe that's the only active cooler that's in this system here. But you can see, if just looking inside, there is really no dust on the fan itself, which is always a strong indicator of how much it has been used, or well it has been used. But you can see on the back here as well, you get a few USB type or USB 3 ports. So that says something about the date. That is not really all that old. Few USB 2.0 and of course LAN here, and also HDMI and VGA plug. So that it has a USB 3 and HDMI says to me that this is a newer-ish system. So I'm very interested to testing this CPU/APU out. The little plastic thing there is actually the antenna, because it also has Wi-Fi, which I really didn't know. Overall, it feels very light, a little too light. And you can see on the backside here, you can just see the hard drive as well. And of course, there is some model numbers and some specifications there, just covering the serial number. But it's a very light machine, doesn't feel like high quality, so I'm kind of curious to see what it actually is on the inside and how many sticks of memory it has, or how big the hard drive is. Unfortunately, I only have the round plugs here for my Lenovo power supplies. I don't have the square ones at the moment, since this one does not have an inbuilt power supply. Of course, a strong indicator that this is not really an expensive machine, but it has an external power supply. So let's first off just unscrew the lid. You can see just 2 screws there. So it is very easy to get into this machine. And of course that takes off the I/O shield, or the side panel there. And you can see all this glory in here. Actually, it is just a laptop in a desktop form that Lenovo has made their own little the motherboard here. I don't think it's any specific form factor. Mini ITX maybe, or mini ATX, excuse me, or micro ATX or mini ITX. I'm not really sure what's form factor, but yeah, let's have a closer look at this CPU here. It is an AMD A4 CPU. Like said, it is a fairly low-end laptop part, and it is very power efficient. You can see 15 watts, so it doesn't really draw a lot of power. And that's probably also why it has such a small heatsink on there and a very little fan, which should be plenty to cool this as well. And of course, it has a built-in Radeon GPU as well. Let's also benchmark that a little later and see what we can push out of that little system there. So yeah, definitely not high-end components, but for 20 euros, this would be a fun little project. Maybe I can use it for something in the future. I'm not really sure. Or maybe it will go to a family member or such that needs a desktop machine just to do office work. You can also see some benchmarks here on the website. The various benchmarks here. It doesn't really score all that high, but of course we'll test it out later as well. And the motherboard itself doesn't really have that much expandability. Only have those 2 SATA plugs that's already connected to the built-in DVD-ROM drive, and also the hard drive. But there are a 16 times PCI Express slot, and you can see also the LAN connectivity there, or wireless LAN, excuse me, but only 1 wire going to that little plastic hub there. Kind of strange. And it also has a 1-time slot, but I don't think these will run at full 16 times or 4 times speed. It's probably PCI Express Generation 1 or something like that. I haven't tested them out though, because of course this APU here has built-in graphics. Maybe it will be a fun project in the future. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see me pimp this up with a small graphics card. It has to be a low-profile graphics card and maybe a SSD, and see how much power we can actually squeeze out of this. Let's see how we can get into the hard drive. Of course, removing the front panel here doesn't require any tools. Always a nice thing to disassemble. Lenovo desktop and laptops, they are really made to be taken apart and to service. And you can see the DVD ROM drive there, or DVD RAM. I actually believe it also has burning capability, so can write DVDs and also can rewrite them if you have such media still. But yeah, who uses those in this day and age? But you can see 2 screws there. Let's try and unplug them or unscrew them and see what actually hides below and what kind of storage we have here. The hard drive is just below this DVD drive. There's, like I said, only 2 SATA ports, so you cannot really expand this all too much. Maybe an SSD in the PCI Express slot. If you want to keep that hard drive already baked in here, you can see it's a 1 terabyte Western Digital blue disk, which is kind of a decent mechanical hard drive. Of course, like I said, you can just swap it out with an SSD, or you can also keep the old magnetic storage here and add an SSD through the PCI Express slot. But that's pretty much all the storage you have here. I'm not really sure if that wireless LAN connector there on the motherboard supports M.2 SSDs. In previous ThinkPads, I've been able to upgrade to SSDs just using the extra port that was designed for 3G modems and such. Put in a small SSD in there. And also the memory, it actually has 8 gigabytes of memory, which kind of surprised me. I really didn't expect much of this. And 1 terabyte of hard drive, it's not really all that bad, considering this is probably a few years old. But yeah, I'm not really sure about the brand of those memory sticks, or rather the quality of those memory sticks, but they will probably just be fine. But like I said, I only have round plugs for the ThinkPad line, older ThinkPads, so I don't really have any square plug adapters at the moment. I have given all my square plugs away because I don't really use them at the moment, so I had to jerry-rig it a little bit here with some wires and some double-sided tape. It's not pretty, but it works. So let's just try and turn on the power here and see what happens. You can see the little fan there turns on, so that's good news. At least it gets power from the little jerry-rig plug there. And the little fan actually is rather quiet as well. And of course you can see here the DVD drive opens as well, which is all great signs. And of course, let's just plug in some peripherals. It's very hard word to say when you're not really speaking English naturally. But yeah, you can see the mouse and the keyboard. I'm going to use wired mouse and keyboard here just to be certain, and a HDMI cable here to my HDMI monitor. So let's just plug it in and have a closer look and test and see if everything works. So far so good. At least we have power and the fan is spinning, which is always a good sign. I didn't hear any bad BIOS beeps either, so let's boot straight into the BIOS. You can see here it is a 1.5 gigahertz. It's a quad-core CPU, no hyperthreading and anything fancy like that. And like I said, memory is 8 gigabyte, running at 1600 megahertz, which is actually pretty decent, I would say. And of course, it does have onboard Ethernet audio, and the CPU fan you can see here operating. So yeah, does have a CPU fan warning probably. And of course the hard drive, like I said, 1 terabyte hard drive, spinning mechanical hard drive, and it has a CD/DVD ROM and DVD RAM drive, so you can also record those fancy DVDs if that's something you're into. Else, it is a pretty familiar BIOS from Lenovo. And let's just go in and actually enable default BIOS settings and then plug in Windows. There's actually already installed Windows 8 on here, but it is from the previous owner, so I don't really want to show anything there. There's images and stuff on there, so I've just cleaned the hard drive completely and now installing Windows 10 64-bit. I've sped up the process 20 times because, yeah, it is a very slow process to install Windows on a mechanical hard drive. Even though it is installing from a flash storage device, it still is a slow process. But yeah, after some time, it did install and everything seemed to be working just fine. So let me just set up everything, install the latest drivers and updates for Windows, and let's just run some benchmarks after that. But first off, let's just take a closer look at the hardware here. Of course, it's running the A4-5000 CPU from AMD, which is a mobile processor. Never heard of it before, but yeah, apparently that was a thing a few years back. 15 watts, so it's a very low power CPU or APU, codenamed Kabini, and it runs on 28 nanometers, so it's a rather old technology. And like I said, its core speed is 1.5 gigahertz. It is a quad-core CPU, no hyper-threading or anything like that. The main board is from Lenovo, so I guess they have made their own motherboard here. I don't know what form factor it is. Haven't been able to find any features here, but you can see the chipset is a K16 IMC, and the South bridge is also an AMD Kabini FCH. Not any chips I am familiar with. Also only recent years that AMD really have been noticed again with the Ryzen series. But anyways, you can see the BIOS here is from 2013, so it is probably around the 7 years of age. So it is a rather old machine. And the memory is DDR3. It is 800 megahertz, so 1600 megahertz dual channel. And it is cache latency 11, 12, 28, which is definitely not great at these kinds of speeds. So yeah, very low budget memory, but yeah, they will probably work just fine. And the GPU here is of course built into the CPU. It's an AMD Radeon HD 8330. Never heard about that. And it core speed is 496 megahertz, and the memory speed of course is the same as the system memory because it just uses those. And memory size is 512 megabytes. So yeah, it'll be interesting to test that GPU and see how much we get. First off, let's run Geekbench. For some reason I cannot run the GPU benchmark, so I can only run the CPU ones, but I sped up this process 20 times. It takes forever to run this benchmark, and you can see all of its GPU cores or CPU cores there is at 100%. Doesn't really get that hot though, and the temper or the sound or the audio is not really all that noticeable. The little fan there keeps it nice, cool and quiet. But yeah, you can see the result here. Single core 188 and multi-core 631. Cinebench release 20 here. After I press the run button, it takes quite some time for the benchmark to actually just begin. And then it just takes forever. I have actually also sped up the process 20 times and cut it in half because it just takes so long time. You can see here only 4 cores and running at 1.5 gigahertz, and all cores is just running at the maximum here. So yeah, definitely a slow process, but let's have a look at the score. 235 points. That's just funny, you know, smartphones these days are just so much faster than this, even a smartphone from years ago. So yeah, definitely not a fast runner here. It will be decent enough for some office work and stuff like that, but really not used for much else. Let's run a GPU get benchmark here. This was the only one I could get running. Of course, Heaven benchmark, sped out 20 times again. And yeah, it's not really all that impressive in terms of its GPU capabilities. We are getting around 2.8 frames per second, score of 71, maximum FPS 2.7 and minimum FPS is 2.0. So yeah, definitely not a gaming GPU, but of course, let me know down in the comments if you want me to test this out with some games. Would be rather fun to see if we can get them running maybe in 720 or in even lower resolution than that at its very low settings. For desktop and office work, yeah, this will be fine. Driving one monitor, maybe even two monitors. Definitely wouldn't drive anything above 1080p with this GPU. Wireless LAN speed test. I have a 1 gigabit internet connection and I do have an AX router, but of course this one only supports N networks and it's only one antenna, so it must be just single MIMO or one times antenna up and down speed. I don't really know how that works, but yeah, you can see here around the 35 megabits per second in download speed and around 30-ish megabits per second upload speed. So yeah, definitely is limited to the specification of the LAN card in this machine here. My network is definitely faster. I'm getting 5, 6, maybe 700 megabits sometimes on my iPhone, but yeah, 35 download and 26 upload. Not really that impressive, but decent enough to browse the web and such. Let's try some YouTube playback. This is in the new Edge Chromium browser, and let's try to run a 4K video, which is a little optimistic, but let's see if it actually will work. Of course, I only have it connected to a 1080p monitor, but you can see here, just selecting that 4K resolution and the GPU utilization will go up to around 100% or close to that. The CPU will go up to around 100%, but of course this is an APU, so CPU and GPU is within the same chipset, or in the same processor. So yeah, you can see also the Edge browser there taking all of the system resources, and the playback is definitely not smooth at all. A lot of loading, could be due to the slower Wi-Fi speed. And you can see going in full screen here, it definitely takes a few seconds. So yeah, not a 4K streaming machine, but of course I kind of expected that. But you'll be fine just at 1080p. But of course, if you have this machine or equivalent machine, just plug in a LAN cable, because that wireless LAN card there isn't really all that impressive. Overall, a fun little machine for 20 euros. I think it's pretty decent, but I'm not really sure I could recommend this to anyone, not even if you bought it cheap, used. Of course, you cannot buy this new anymore, but I would kind of avoid it if you found it in a flea market at whatever cost it had. Of course, depending if this kind of performance is enough for you, if you just run a 1080 or 720p monitor and you just want to browse the web and do some office work, it definitely is pretty decent. Would be fun though to try and install a older low-profile GPU in this system and an SSD and see if it will really come to life. But yeah, 1.5 gigahertz 15 watt CPU quad core, definitely not something that I would use for anything gaming or anything related to that. For office work it would be fine. For some casual browsing it would be fine as well, also depending on what you're used to and such. But yeah, if you're used to a 12-core CPU or a faster Mac machine or Windows machine, you will definitely be disappointed with this one here. It's a fun little machine, like I said, just for fun for my instance, but if you want to do something serious with this one here, I would probably avoid it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see any future projects with this one here. I also hope to see you again in a future video, but that's been it for this one. Take care.